Good morning. As we step into a brand new week, let's get you prepared for what's ahead in the world of weather. Whether you're planning your commute, thinking about weekend activities, or just curious about what's happening across the country, we've got you covered. Let's take a detailed look at the U.S. weather for the next 7 days. There's a lot happening, and some regions will see more excitement than others. For most of the country, we're looking at a calm, zonal flow in the upper atmosphere. That means the jet stream is cruising steadily from west to east, acting like a conveyor belt that keeps major weather systems at bay. This pattern tends to bring stability, so you can expect quieter days ahead for a large portion of the nation. The central U.S., stretching from the majestic Rockies all the way to the mighty Mississippi River, will enjoy stable, pleasant conditions. Skies will be mostly clear, and there's no sign of any major storms or disruptive weather. It's a great time for outdoor activities, travel, or simply enjoying the crisp autumn air. But if you're on the West Coast, get ready for a different story. A series of storms is lining up offshore, preparing to bring rain, gusty winds, and rough surf to coastal areas from California up through the Pacific Northwest. These systems could bring much-needed moisture, but also the risk of localized flooding and travel delays. Meanwhile, out in the Atlantic, meteorologists are keeping a close eye on a developing system near the Bahamas. While it's too early to say exactly where it will go, it's something to watch, especially for those along the southeast coast and in the Caribbean. Across much of the country, temperatures will run a bit warmer than usual for early November. Expect afternoons that feel more like late October, with above-average highs in many regions. This mild spell is a welcome treat for those who aren't quite ready for winter's chill. So, while the coasts are bracing for some action, the interior of the country gets a well-deserved weather break. It's the perfect window to finish up those last-minute outdoor chores, rake the leaves, or simply take a walk and enjoy the peaceful fall scenery before the colder months arrive. But don't get too comfortable. This calm spell is likely just a prelude. Forecast models suggest a shift to a more active and colder pattern is on the horizon, with the potential for stronger storms and the first real taste of winter weather in the weeks ahead. We'll be here to track every change and keep you updated, so stay tuned for the latest forecasts and tips to help you stay prepared, no matter what the weather brings. Now, let's zoom in on the West Coast, where a series of storms is about to make things interesting. Two separate systems will hit from Northern California up through Washington, starting Wednesday. The first brings thunderstorms and steady rain to Northern California and Southern Oregon. Umbrellas are a must. The second storm follows quickly, spreading rain into Washington and Oregon, keeping the region wet through Friday. With back-to-back storms, the ground will get saturated, raising the risk of localized flash flooding, especially in low-lying areas. While major flooding isn't expected, minor issues are possible, so keep storm drains clear and watch for alerts. It's a classic early winter pattern for the Pacific Northwest: wet, windy, and wild. Be prepared and stay weather aware. As these storms move inland, they'll bring much-needed rain to the Pacific coast, but also some challenges. Quick, heavy downpours could cause runoff and minor flooding, especially in urban and mountain areas. Expect slick roads, reduced visibility, and some travel delays from the Bay Area northward. Mountain communities will see even more rain, and the highest peaks could get an early dusting of snow. This marks the shift from dry summer to a wetter, stormier season for California, Oregon, and Washington. The active pattern is likely to continue, so keep your rain gear handy. For the Pacific Northwest, it's time to settle in for a classic wet winter. Check the forecast often and stay safe. As we turn our attention to the southeast, we're seeing some interesting developments in the weather pattern. A trough of low pressure is currently forming near Florida, bringing with it a mix of changing skies and shifting winds. This system is also extending its influence toward the Bahamas, where the ocean remains relatively calm for now, but clouds are beginning to gather on the horizon. While this area of low pressure is something meteorologists are watching closely, the good news is that most forecast models suggest it will remain primarily offshore. That means the U.S. mainland, including Florida and the Carolinas, should see only limited impacts from this system. For residents and visitors along the coast, this translates to a relatively quiet stretch of weather, with only minor disruptions expected. In the Carolinas, you might notice some extra clouds rolling in, and there could be a few scattered showers, especially along the immediate coastline. However, These showers are expected to be light and brief, with no severe weather anticipated at this time. Down in southern Florida, the atmosphere is a bit more unstable, so there's a chance for a few pop-up thunderstorms, particularly as we head into Sunday afternoon. These storms could bring brief downpours and a rumble of thunder, but they should be isolated and short-lived. For most of the state, though, the forecast remains bright. Expect plenty of sunshine, warm temperatures, and great conditions for outdoor activities, whether you're heading to the beach or exploring local parks. Across the broader southeast, it's shaping up to be a calm week overall. There may be a few nuisance showers along the coast, but these will be more of an occasional inconvenience than a real disruption to your plans. As the week progresses, the system is expected to drift farther out into the Atlantic, gradually reducing its influence on our weather. Skies should clear up even more as we move toward the weekend. This pattern is a good reminder that even as hurricane season winds down, the Atlantic Ocean can still stir up some unsettled weather. It's always wise to stay informed and keep an eye on the latest updates, especially if you have outdoor plans. For now though, there are no major threats on the horizon. So, take advantage of the sunshine, enjoy the pleasant weather, and remember to check your local forecasts for any changes. Have a great week ahead. Up in the northeast, recent storms have left things damp, and another round of rain is on the way. A shortwave trough will bring cooler air and showers to cities like Boston and New York later in the week. Higher elevations in upstate New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire could see their first light snow. Just a dusting. It's a classic November pattern, unsettled, chilly, and damp, with more clouds than sun. No big storms are expected, just a series of weak systems reinforcing the cool air. Sweater weather is here, so keep a jacket handy. The gradual slide into winter continues, but major snow will hold off for now. Stay cozy and watch for those first flakes in the mountains. North of the border, Canada is bracing for a true winter blast. Multiple snowstorms and a surge of Arctic air will hit from British Columbia to Quebec over the next 10 days. Significant accumulating snow is expected, especially in the prairies and eastern provinces. Get those shovels ready. Cities like Calgary, Regina, Toronto, and Montreal could see their first major snowfalls of the season. Freezing rain is also a concern, particularly in Ontario and Quebec, with the risk of icy roads and power outages. This is a rapid shift from fall to full-on winter for millions. Stay alert for changing conditions and hazardous travel. Canada's winter is arriving in force. Alongside the snow, a powerful Arctic cold front is sweeping across Canada. Temperatures will plunge well below average, with daytime highs barely above freezing and wind chills making it feel even colder. The cold will hit western and central provinces first, then spread east. In the Rockies, wind chills could drop to -10 or lower. Serious frostbite risk. Bundle up, limit time outdoors, and cover exposed skin during this cold snap. This frigid air mass will linger over Canada, setting the stage for future U.S. weather shifts. While the U.S. stays mild for now, this cold dome could surge south later in the month. Winter is knocking. Be ready. Meanwhile, much of the U.S. will enjoy a warm, pleasant stretch thanks to a ridge of high pressure. From the plains to the east coast, expect above-average temperatures and a late autumn feel. This warmth will keep Arctic air locked in Canada and prevent widespread snow in the U.S. for now. Any storms that develop will bring rain, not snow, except in the highest elevations. Take advantage of this mild spell to get outside and enjoy the sunshine. But remember, this is temporary. The cold air up north is waiting for its chance. The pattern will eventually flip, so don't pack away your winter gear just yet. Enjoy the break while it lasts. As we look further into November, long-range weather models are starting to paint a very different picture for the days after the 10th. While the first part of the month has been dominated by mild temperatures and relatively calm conditions, a significant shift appears to be on the horizon. Meteorologists are closely watching the data, and both the GFS and ECMWF models are hinting at a major pattern change that could bring a dramatic end to the recent stretch of quiet weather. The mild, tranquil weather pattern that many have enjoyed will likely break down as a strong cold front pushes southward. This front is expected to open the door for a surge of Arctic air, which could sweep down from Canada and plunge deep into the central and eastern United States. As the cold air advances, we'll see a noticeable drop in temperatures, and the atmosphere will become much more active. With this new pattern, the stage is set for the first major snowstorm of the season, in some areas. Northern states could see significant snowfall, while the southern states may face the risk of severe weather, including thunderstorms, and even the possibility of tornadoes. The contrast between the warm, moist air in the south, and the incoming cold air from the north, will create the perfect setup for dynamic and potentially hazardous weather events. Of course, there's still a fair amount of uncertainty at this stage. The weather models are not in complete agreement about the exact timing, track, or intensity of the potential storm system. Some models suggest a powerful storm, while others show a more moderate event. Meteorologists are monitoring these developments closely, and as new data comes in, the forecast will become clearer. If the cold air arrives as projected, temperatures could tumble quickly, with overnight lows dropping into the 20s, or even lower in some spots. The plains and Rockies in particular could experience brutal wind chills, making it feel much colder than the actual air temperature. Frosty mornings and icy winds will be a stark contrast to the mild start of the month. One of the key drivers behind this shift is the Arctic Oscillation, which is currently trending negative. When the Arctic Oscillation dips, it often allows cold polar air to spill southward into the United States, increasing the chances for snow and below-average temperatures. This trend supports the idea that the second half of November could be much colder and snowier than what we've seen so far. So, while the first week or so of November may feel more like late autumn, don't be fooled. Winter could arrive in force soon after, bringing a swift end to the mild weather and ushering in a period of wintry conditions that could last well into the month. Now is the time to start preparing for the colder days ahead. Make sure your winter coats, hats, and gloves are ready to go, and keep an eye on the forecast for any updates about potential storms or temperature drops. It's always better to be prepared than caught off guard by a sudden change in the weather. We'll be tracking every development and keeping you informed every step of the way, so stay tuned for the latest updates as we head into what could be a much colder and more active second half of November.